Guess what? It's Jess The Ska Kid. This is Palace Day Shilarino. It's Thursday night. We got a band like we do every night. This interview is going to be a smidge different than normal because we're going to interview, and they're like, hey, guess what? We came up with a bunch of other songs to play. And so that's going to happen. So welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. Let's do introductions. I'm Jess The Ska Kid. This is Mike. He plays banjo. Hi, Mike.
Hey.
This is Frank. He plays guitar. Hi, Frank.
Hi.
So,
Hey.
so tell us, you are two of, I don't know, several people that was Humbug, is Humbug?
Yeah. Humbug's kind of I like to think of it as a collective of music. Some of them are songs I wrote, some of them are traditional songs, but normally it's Frank and I playing a lot of them, and we started it off a little bit, but as we recorded and as we played more shows, there was, several people, sometimes 10, 12 people that showed up and contributed. So, yeah, it's whoever jumps in is Humbug, I guess. Yeah.
So, how, I guess, now that it is just you two, how long do you think you'll be performing? You have the show coming up February 8th, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then that is with?
It's with Old Wolves, Josie Spoons, American Veins. So
I have a funny story about him, Mr. Josie Spoons.
Oh,
I
yeah?
met him at a Halloween party, and he's like, ugh, you're just the Ska Kid. I was like, ugh. Nobody says ugh. What? And he's like, I just had this really weird, you were pretentious and you, hung out in the punk scene and whatever. And I was like, motherfucker, don't you know not to judge a book by its cover? And he was like, I apologize. I actually got a sorry from that guy that night. He's like, you're okay. And I was like, wow, thanks, guy. So that's my story with him. But did you know he does a black metal band?
No, I'd love to hear that, though.
Yeah, so I forget the name of it, but it's crazy written and very cult. So
They're always crazy written and very cult, right?
that's what I got after the apology. Psst, guess what?
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Cool. All right, I'll ask him.
So Humbug started back in 2014 into 15.
Something like that. Yeah.
Probably.
I think 2014 probably.
How did it come to be? 'Cause I remember the story, and this is a great trivia question, so pay attention if you want a motherfucking shirt.
How did it? Well, we were drinking beer one night, of course, and we ended up in the Denoma practice spot down in the basement. They have a really great little spot down there, and I think you had a bit of lyrics and a bit of guitar stuff, and then I had a bit of lyrics and a bit of guitar stuff, and we kind of meshed them together, and that turned into Ruts. So Ruts is kind of a joint written song where half of it's him, half of it's me, and it kind of just meshed into a different sound, and then we just kind of went with it. So.
What kind of genre would you say you are? Because people are like, what band did you play in? And I'm like, Humbug. And they're like, what's that? So I say that we're folks bluegrass. But how would you describe us?
So bluegrass is you're doing the kind of finger roll stuff, and the style that I play is clawhammer, and that's pre-bluegrass. It's a lot of kind of more old-time music, but there's also a mix of punk in it. There's a mix of blues. There's a mix of folk. With the traditional songs, we play some ragtime, we play some old Appalachian music, but the music that we play that are original, I'd say it's probably a mix of, everything that we've both played in punk and metal and folk bands and stuff, so it's kind of a mix of all that. Yeah, it's hard to nail it down on one thing, but it's acoustic fun stuff there. Acoustic fun stuff?
Acoustic fun stuff.
Does that work? I don't know.
That works.
I don't know.
How did you get into this genre? For both of you, because goddammit, you can talk too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was a big fan of Johnny Cash and Hank the Third. And one time I seen him playing open mic night, and I was just like, oh, that's fucking cool. So it's like the acoustic stuff. I always like jamming on acoustic guitar. It's a lot easier to grab and then plug it in and doing electric stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it transfers well, too. I think punk transfers well to folk a little bit. There's a rawness that both share. And, yeah.
So, because you've said punk several times that you've played punk, what other bands have you been in? Or are currently in? This is hard to ask you interview questions because I know all the answers to them. This is for you, listener, viewer.
All right.
Into the microphone, actually.
This is the question for me. All right.
Use your words.
This is for both of you.
Yeah, I was in a Pissed Officer with a band with my dad. Play guitar. Republicans on Welfare. I play bass and guitar, and I was in a bunch of bands, a bunch of punk bands mainly, but this is the first band that's like a little different than punk. So,
Did you play in punk bands?
The last band I played in that was not just kind of this kind of stuff. I was in. We actually didn't have. We played some really weird shit. It was kind of a like experimental psychedelic. Black metal-y. It was a bunch of different genres, and we didn't have a name. Our logo was a sigil, which I know.
You're speaking in characters. I don't know.
Yeah, we are. So I mean, we didn't really want our music to be found too much. It was just we'd play shows and we'd kind of jump out of that. And then I've played in a lot of traveling bands around. I used to hitchhike around the country, and we'd change our name every town. So we'd just make up a name and do all that. And then before that, I played in a band called Arbiter for a little bit, which was more, it's kind of death metal. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Brennan knows Arbiter. Yeah, it was kind of more like, I don't know if you know the band Origin or, like that kind of stuff, Behemoth, that kind of.
I do.
It was that genre. Yeah, when I was like, I don't know, 19, 20.
I'm
something
angry,
like
and everything needs to be drop tuned to dance.
It was pretty meadly. Yeah. Yeah, we did meadly stuff. And then I don't know, in high school I was in several like shitty metalcore bands that are still nostalgic and fun, but yeah. But I picked up the banjo when I was 19, 20, and then kind of stuck with that for the most part.
So recorded music, where can people find you if they're like, tonight was great, because actually we had like over 100 views while you played, and people from multiple states were like, this is great, I love this. So thanks, viewers, to you, but where can people find Humbug? And people are like, why does she say us? I played saxophone. I'm on the recording.
Yeah. No, you have a great part on that recording. You kind of make, you're some of the people that make that Ruts song.
Just
I think
that and Fireflies. I fucking
and
love
Fireflies
that song.
too. Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Definitely. Yeah, those two songs that was such a fun album to record with all you folks. It's like one of the funnest weeks I've had in my life.
Yeah, you guys got a week. I got fucking a few hours and didn't even know that the rest of the music you wanted me to play was what we were playing. Like legit, I get a text from at work at 3 p.m. that day. Mm-hmm. Frank's like, "You're coming to record, right?" And I'm like, "Sure." What time? Like, I don't know. When are you done with work? So I show up, sat there forever. Everybody else was recording their pieces. I did Ruts, because that's all I knew. And then Steve was like, hold on, then why don't you play other stuff? So they put the headphones on me. I listened to like 3 other songs, and I was like, can I have like 1 second to figure this out? So that's how that night went. It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
I feel like everybody worked very naturally and fluidly with like there were a couple little hiccups along the way, but I mean, for 10 people jumping onto an album in 1 or 2 or 3 days.
We legit threw that together to play with Days and Days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 86, right? Is that what it was at that point? The Ditch? Oh, the Ditch. It was the Ditch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Underneath Parker and Barrel.
Yeah. Yep.
So as we sat here, you all were like, we got other songs. But before we get to other songs, where the hell can they find our music? And if you go, I don't know, I'm going to be like, really?
Well, it's on YouTube, the album we recorded. It's on under Humbug Ruts. is the album. And then there's a Bandcamp, and I kind of made the Bandcamp joke a little bit.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Mike hates it.
I hate
Why
it
do
so
you
much.
hate it? Because it's the way to find it. Do you know how many other humbugs are on there?
I know.
Is there really?
That's true.
Yeah. That's why ours, if you type in Humbug 69, it pops right up. If you just search Humbug, you'll have to scroll through lots of them. Whatever. That just means we're considerate.
So it's Humbug 69 because Frank is still 15, I think. I don't know.
I thought it was because he was considerate. If you do that position, that's consideration for the other human.
That's true, yeah.
I prefer
Right?
to be 15.
You're just not being selfish. You want to give as well as receive. It's like the best Christmas. Sorry.
It's respectful.
But that's what ladies do. I digress. I digress.
So yeah, Humbug 69 at Bandcamp is the thing.
That was great. So do you want to play a song now? Since all these people are nicely like lubed up.
Sure, yeah. Yep.
On that note.
I feel like that should have been like our AOL Instant Messenger name or something. I don't know.
But we got to make the dial-up noise then.
All right. Worry Blues? Do you remember the GCD? All right. Well, didn't write this one. It's an old song. It's a mix of they're called a lot of different names. It's Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, Worried Blues. I think there's like Red Canyon Blues. I don't know. There's a lot of names for it, but this is my version of it, and we're gonna try it.
Try it.
Well, I got those worry blues. Said I got those worry blues. Lord, I got those worry blues. Oh, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Well, I get kicked out everywhere I go. Said I get kicked out everywhere I go. Lord, I get kicked out everywhere I go. Oh, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. But I'm going where those chilly winds don't blow. I'm going where those chilly winds don't blow. Lord, I'm going where those chilly winds don't blow. Oh, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Cause I'm going down that road feeling bad. Lord, I'm going down that road feeling bad. Said I'm going down that road feeling bad. Oh Lord, I got trouble in my mind. My honey babe, don't leave me now. Oh, my honey babe, don't leave me now. Said my honey babe, don't leave me now. Lord, Lord, I got trouble in my mind. But I'm going where that climate suits my clothes. I'm going where that climate suits my clothes. Lord, I'm going where that climate suits my clothes. Oh Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Cause I got those worried blues. Said I got those worried blues. Oh Lord, I got those worried blues. Oh Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
So, Mike, this question is for you. How did you get into playing the banjo?
I just bought one day, and then I started playing it. Yeah, I think I always I liked the older music, like the Smithsonian recordings, the Smithsonian. Then the Library of Congress recorded a lot of amazing Appalachian folk music in the Appalachian Mountains in the '60s. But I mean, most of the songs are mid 1800s, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. So I'd listen to those, and then I kind of just picked up a banjo. This is actually, I've had this almost the entire time I've played banjo. I think I got this 12 years ago, 13 years ago, something like that.
What other instruments can you play?
Most string instruments, and then I play when I've traveled around, I play the washboard a lot too. I've played that in kind of like Eastern European bands, klezmer bands, and all that, ragtime bands, all that fun stuff. But yeah, most string instruments: guitar, ukulele, a little bit of cello, a little bit of fiddle, terribly, but
Terribly?
I'd like to learn how to play fiddle a little better. Yeah.
So you traveled around. What states have you been to? And earlier you mentioned that you played in Hawaii to earn money because you were broke. How the fuck? There ain't no train that gets you to Hawaii, so how's that work?
Well, I'm a field biologist, so I research birds, and I had a job in Australia researching birds, and it was actually cheaper. After that job ended, it was cheaper to stop in Hawaii and then go to Seattle instead of flying straight through. So I stopped there for a week and pretty much just like slept on the beach. And I was out of money at that point, so I busked. I played banjo in Hawaii and slept on the beach and sometimes on the sides of buildings. I was in Waikiki, that general area of Honolulu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So guess what? It's your turn. Ready? Are you ready for this challenge?
I don't know.
Okay, so you play guitar, but I have seen you play lots of other things. So what other instruments do you play, and do you sing as well?
I sing a little bit.
You don't talk into a microphone, though. Goddamn.
I'm talking to a microphone very well. I sing
Hashtag
very
love
little
you.
bit. I play the trumpet. I played trumpet in like elementary school and middle school, and then high school. I kind of was like, well, I'll just play guitar because guitar is fun.
And the Humbug album.
And and I played trumpet on the Humbug album, Fireflies, actually. So it was hard to get back into trumpet because it's a lot of stuff with your lips.
Embouchure. We're gonna
Sure.
do a pop quiz. Ready? Somebody who studies birds is called a ornithologist.
That was for a shirt.
That's false.
No?
No, that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
I'm like, what the fuck? Don't do that.
No, I'm
Everybody
sorry.
else
I'm
was
sorry.
like, she's right, and then you're like, what? And they're like, ask the bird guy.
I'm so sorry.
You
No,
Bill
that's
Nyed me. This bitch over here. And the part of your mouth that holds an instrument in the correct position is called an embouchure. These are t-shirt questions, so I hope you're following along. You're allowed to take notes. Anyway, go on with your trumpet. Bad self. We played trumpet with Denoma and saxophone for, what was that? Merry Christmas, Baby?
Yeah, it was a Christmas special, or whatever. But yeah, my trumpet needs some repairs though, so I haven't been playing trumpet very often.
You played it in reed pubs too.
Yeah, that's right. There's one song I played trumpet.
Yep.
What was the name of that song?
What was the name of that song?
Fuck Truck, I think it was
It's a
called.
good song. Yeah, it's really fun to hear little kids sing that because
It's
you
not
can't
fun.
even be mad at the fuck part of it.
Yeah.
It's horribly inappropriate.
It
But
is.
when your little 4-year-old is like, "Let me take my fuck to town," you're like, "Oh no!" But
bad.
okay, it's the end of our rice, so we'll
I lived with a kid that he called trucks cocks, so he'd be like fire cock, or like dump cock.
Gingers fuck.
Yeah, he was like 3, I think, at the time, and yeah, so he loved fire cocks and dump cocks, and it was
That's more appropriate.
yeah. So
It's really fun when they go to school and have to go to speech therapy, right?
I mean, he worked it out. He sounded out truck eventually, but.
What led to the like vagabond lifestyle, Mike? Why did you up and like move around all over the place?
Well, I haven't. I mean, I generally stayed in Washington for about 9 years, but on my time off, I traveled. And it was just, I didn't have a ton of money I was a college student. I didn't really have a ton of money to go take plane flights everywhere. I wanted to go see my friends, and I don't know. Yeah. So I just kind of up and left every now and then, and that's what happened.
I have to say, you have to have a good sense of self-security because you're just kind of casting yourself into the wind, moseying about. How does that feel? Because lots of people want to have this like grounded sense of lifestyle. I would say we're told, grow up, settle down,
Yeah.
have one spot.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of a false sense of security in that, though. I mean, if you get down to the basics, if you have food, water, and shelter, you can pretty much, live happily for the most part. I don't know. I traveled pretty safely. I had little safe things I did when I hitchhiked by myself and stuff. And it's not that, it's really not that scary. I'd be more scared to drive the distances that I hitchhiked, honestly. But I'm also a terrible driver.
Yeah.
I am a terrible driver. Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm unattentive. I actually just recently started driving again because I had to for work. So maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I started driving again. But
I remember you had like a truck.
Yeah, I still have it. Yeah, hopefully taking it down to Texas if it survives. But
Hey. And you leave when? The 14th, yeah?
ish. Yeah, if the weather serves me right, I might leave sooner, a little bit later.
So, as a band, there is this cool promotion going on at Bourbon Legends, okay? And we have a burger. So the end of May into June, you can definitely get the Humburger, which is a burger with pepper jack cheese, a barbecued chicken breast, a slap of coleslaw, and a pineapple ring. Yum, yum. Delicious.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
All right.
It made me think of you. I was like, we gotta have
Yeah,
pork on it.
I'd eat it. I would eat
Right?
the hell out of that. Yeah.
But this week, up until Saturday, is Slaughter Party and Cheap Sleaze. You can check the Jess The Ska Kid page because I've posted what the brackets are as to who is coming up. A few other people in our audience have burgers. The Scraps have a burger, and Biro, which is Zero, the hero, has a burger.
Is that your burger?
It is their
Oh, that's so good. Oh,
signature
good job, Brandon.
burger.
There's a lot of
Good.
beer involved.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's how you can find us as well. If you don't want to listen to us, you can eat us. Humbug69 on Bandcamp. That went smooth, right? That went smoothly.
Sure. Yeah.
So upcoming in the works, because a couple months ago, when you guys came over and played in the living room and had an upcoming show, you had other things written. Are those other things able to be played, A? And B, do you anticipate a Humbug 2? If you don't remember, then I feel really bad.
Well, I mean, I think some of the songs we played were newer songs. I think those might have been it.
Yeah, we played first
Souls of
Clue.
Your Shoes.
The Dead River and the Souls for Shoes. And yeah, those are new ones. I mean, every time we meet up, we usually try and write or kind of revamp a song that one of us has written. So, yeah. I mean, every time we keep being in the same town, we'll keep making more music, I guess. But
have you met up not in Wisconsin to play?
He came and visited me down in Texas. When was last like April or something?
Last March. I think.
March, yeah. Yeah, they came down and hung out at my little research ranch thing down in Texas. And we didn't really play much music, though.
It was kind of like swing through for the night.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you came out to Washington, too.
Oh, yeah.
We drove back from
Right. You
Washington
went to go get him.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember because we had a show and we're like, is Frank going to make it?
Yeah. And did you? Did you make it?
Yeah.
Did I make? Yeah.
That day, he's like,
Yep.
fuck. I just got back into town.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Because that was like on point, right?
Yeah, it was.
Mannerisms are us. They could be like memes. Anyway, just kidding. What else do you have to play for us? Because we went outside and we all smoked and we got new beer. These guys are down here just playing and everyone's like, what the fuck? So play for us because we want to hear you guys play. Put them out of my back
Do you
pocket.
remember the Reggae But Right one?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
You done found him?
Back around the sobriety patch.
All right. This one's off of that album, but we haven't played it in a really long time, so. Yep. Old song, didn't write it. Ragged but right. Ooh, here. Give me a C.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Well, I come to tell you people that I'm ragged, but I'm right. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler again. Drunk every night, I eat a porterhouse steak 3 times a day for my board. That's more than any rich man in this town can afford. I got an electric fan to keep me cool when I sleep. A pretty little gal to lay around at my feet. Well, I'm a traveler, I'm a tramp. I get drunk every night. I tell you folks I'm ragged, but I'm right. Well, I go everywhere. I don't pay no fare. I can catch a ride. I have my 2 thumbs get me there. And whether I win or lose, I don't give a fuck about no blues. 'Cause I'm ragged and I just don't care. Well, now you know, good people, that I'm ragged, but I'm right. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler again. Drunk every night, I eat a porterhouse steak 3 times a day for my board. That's more than any flatfoot in this town can afford. I got an electric fan to keep me cool when I sleep. A pretty little gal to lay around at my feet. Well, I'm a traveler, I'm a tramp. I get drunk every night. I tell you folks I'm ragged, but I'm right. Said I tell you folks I'm ragged, but I'm right. Well, one more time. I tell you folks that I'm ragged, but I'm right.
Woo! Thanks, guys. This is Humbug. This is Jess The Ska Kid. This is Palace Day Shilarino. You've been watching us. We're coming to the end of our programming. If you're just tuning in, feel free, if you're like, oh man, go back, watch the video, or feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. These videos will be posted tomorrow for your viewing enjoyment. This is Humbug. You can catch them on Bandcamp at Humbug69, even though Mike hates it. But you can also eat our burger coming up at the end of May through June at Bourbon Legends. As we are nearing the end of our programming, sirs, do you have another song for us?
It's like a quadruple encore.
How do you want
You guys are really killing it.
Fall on My Knees? It's A minor and C and A minor, basically. Okay. Yeah? Okay. I got it tuned real quick.
This will be it for the evenings, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Humbug. Thanks for watching. Catch us next week. Oh, actually, catch us Saturday for our matinee show. Goddamn, sorry, Extrinsic. 3 to 5.
So it's we haven't played this. We haven't played the past couple songs in months and months. So it's C C C A minor, C C A minor, the whole fucking way through. All right, so this is traditional song called "Fall on My Knees." The guy who wrote it, he had like thousands of verses, and he was known for sitting in a chair and playing it for like 8 hours, 10 hours. So I cherry picked a couple verses from it. So "Fall on My Knees."
Well, I fall on my knees and I pray to thee. Well, please won't you stay by me, little girl? Well, please won't you stay with me? Oh, look up, look down that long, lonesome road and hang down your pretty head and cry, little girl. Well, hang down your pretty head and cry. Well, I wish to the Lord that I never been born or died when I was young, little girl. Well, died when I was young. Cause you told me one, you told me two, told me 10,000 lies, little girl. Well, you told me 10,000 lies. Oh, you told me more lies than the stars in the sky. Never gone to heaven when you die, little girl. No, never gone to heaven when you die. So my suitcase is packed and I'm never coming back. Well, goodbye, little woman, I'm gone, gone, gone. Well, goodbye, little woman, I'm gone. So look up, look down that long, lonesome road and hang down your pretty head and cry, little girl. Hang down your pretty head and cry.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks
Jess
so
the
much.
Ska Kid, Humbug. You can catch them February 8th at the port. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Come on and listen to Jess.